Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. Are you ready for a great show tonight?
We're going to keep the show rolling with the next guy, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for Rob Freshour.
All right, hey, thank you very much. Good evening. Boy, this is going to be a fun night. Thank you all for coming out. Give it up again for my friend Larry Allen. Wasn't he funny? Wasn't that great? But I got to be honest with you. This whole, neuter-nator thing and, grapes to raisins, and this is coming from a pastor. Makes me a little uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? You kind of feeling, well, you don't want to feel it. It's just kind of bad feeling. Yeah. But life is really full of uncomfortable, awkward moments, isn't it? And it's good for us sometimes to step back from those moments and kind of enjoy them and laugh a bit. Like that moment when you're in the supermarket and you walk up behind your wife and you begin to caress her arms and you're rubbing her shoulders and then you see your wife coming. Oh, pardon me, sir. It's awkward, isn't it? It's just kind of uncomfortable. Yeah, or when a child, not your own, walks up and takes your hand at Cedar Point, that's uncomfortable. And you look up and you see an angry woman running towards you saying, "What are you doing with Ricky?" And then Ricky looks up and starts screaming, "Stranger danger, stranger danger!" And then your name's on the list. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's uncomfortable. Or true story, you come out from the drugstore and you get in your car and there's a large screaming black woman in the passenger seat. "Help me! Help me! Help me! Oh, Jesus, help me!" And finally you're able to calm her down. It's okay. It's all right. You're just in the wrong car, and you persuade her to step out. But your key won't fit the ignition. It's not comfortable. It's not good. Of course, in church life, we have awkward moments, don't we? Anybody here go to church? I'm just wondering. I think. And we have some awkward moments. I can't think of any right now. I just panicked. No, we have these awkward moments like the little church that I served down in the South. We had a deacon come in one night for prayer meeting and said, "Now I need all y'all to pray for my brother Buford. He got his arm caught up in a concubine." How does that happen? And then I'm not really sure how to pray at that point. Or I went once to visit one of our dear brothers, Brother Delmer was in the hospital. He had some heart trouble, and I visited him in his room and said, Pastor, please pray for me. The doctor says I'm having vagina attacks." Are you uncomfortable with me saying that? Because I am. And how do you pray for that? Here's an 88-year-old dude who is suddenly realizing the answered prayer of every adolescent male in America. And his dear, sweet wife, Sister Della, confides in you, "Pastor, please pray for my husband. He can't sleep at night. He has to go to the bathroom every 30 minutes. The doctor says he's going to have to take out his prostitute gland." I didn't know he had one of those. It explains a lot. Some of the more awkward moments that I've actually enjoyed. Do you ever enjoy an awkward moment? It's never your own, is it? It's always somebody else's. As a pastor, I enjoy doing premarital counseling, these couples that are going to get married, and we talk about the differences and how the sexes communicate, and we talk about relationships and budgets, but my favorite session is about sex. Yeah, they get quiet too when I say that. And there's this horrified look on their face, as if they would say, "Sex? The pastor's going to talk about sex? Is that in the Bible?" Does he know about sex? Well, I've got 5 children, and I've got pictures of them on the wall behind me, so I just point to the pictures and say, hey, where do you think they came from? Craigslist? And here's the truth. I love sex because God gave it to us. And may I tell you, I think we need to reclaim sex from the garbage heap that the world has thrown it on. I mean, in the world's view, sex is either lewd, rude, or crude. If you don't believe that, just go back and watch what's her name? Miley Cyrus on the VMA. She just proved that you can be really dirty and not at all sexy. But who created sex? That would be God. And all of God's creations are given to us for us to enjoy and to have pleasure and bliss. And I think we need to reclaim sex. But we need to also be careful when we're counseling these young couples. You know, I tell couples, you don't get married just for the sex. Especially the guys need to know this. That wasn't supposed to be funny. I don't know, Kim. How did that happen? But thank you for it. It helps. But you threw me off again, so now No, I tell the guys, listen, getting married for sex is like jumping on an airplane going to Honolulu for the peanuts on the plane. It takes a while, I know, yeah. Some wise words that I heard from Brother Delmer a number of years ago when he was in the nursing home towards the end of his life. He said, Pastor, when you tell these young fellows about sex and about marriage, you need to make sure they understand there's nothing more overrated than bad sex. And there's nothing more underrated than a good bowel movement. But honestly, I'm so grateful that God gave us the gift of sex. And I like the way God refers to it in His Word. He doesn't say Adam made whoopee to Eve. No, Adam knew his wife. And I think that's what sexual intimacy should be about with your spouse. As a result of it, you know one another better. You're closer. You value one another more. And so we talk about sex. Now, in order to have great sex, and everybody wants great sex, right? Oh, I forgot where I was. Everybody wants great sex, but listen, in order for us to have great sex, we have to understand that not only are we anatomically different, but we think about sex differently. For instance, women have been called crock pots. You put the stew in the morning, and in the evening it's done. So, like that, women, you have to check it every once in a while to see if it's ready. Women are crock pots, but men, they're microwaves. Ding! I mean, men wake up ready, right? Ding! We're just ready. And there's a reason for that. Somebody said that a man has a sexual thought about every 7 seconds. I don't know how that works. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Ding! How does a guy get anything done in a workday? Because ding! It's just every 7 seconds. And actually, I don't know that that's true, but I do know that men are more visually stimulated than women. At least that's what my wife tells me. And admittedly, I've got a better view than she does. But, you've watched guys, haven't you, when they're in the mall or out in the public and some pretty girls walk by and they're making eye contact while they have to. And then when the women, they're going to break their neck or they're going to look in the reflection in Macy's. We got to be careful, guys, that we don't let our eyes linger and our thoughts take us places they don't belong. So it's not a good thing when I'm driving down the road with my wife and we come to a stoplight and there's an athletic young lady who's out jogging in front of us and all the bouncy hair. And in those moments I've learned to take my wife's hand and look in her eyes and say, honey, how about those mortgage rates? It just cools things down for me. But unfortunately, my wife's not always with me, so here's what I do when my wife's not with me. I like to look around at the other guys watching the women. It makes me chuckle, because you know what I see? Ding, 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 ding. Everybody's breaking their neck. I feel like the Enzyte commercial. This is Bob. Ding! He's the most popular guy in town. Ding! All the men want to be him, and all the women want to be with him. Ding! And then why do they put at the end of those types of commercials, get ready for this, Baptist, in the case of a 4-hour erection, please seek medical... Yeah, I know. Please seek medical assistance as soon as possible. Well, like my friend Larry has told me, brother, if I ever get a 4-hour erection, I am not calling the doctor. Thank you very much. God bless you. Good night.